destiny tapping Arsenal on the shoulder. Is this going to be their year?
Zubimendi over the top of Donnarumma, and it's a header by Gabriel. My break for Eza, brilliant from Eza.
Here's Eza in again. This could be the hat-trick. It's Ebe Eze's day. In this sort of mood, will they ever get a better chance than this to Mikel Arteta?
Villa Park is a fortress. They've won 8 in a row here.
Onana to unleash. Rodgers. Cameron decides to shoot and score.
From being 2 goals down, that start of that game to where they ended up on the winning side is very much how the season's gone for them. You know, struggled at the start and now on this winning run. As we look at their results now, we can show them to you.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a hangover at the end of last season, missing out on the Champions League so slightly. They lost Asensio and Rashford as well in terms of firepower. Duran had left earlier in that season. So maybe it took them a little bit longer to get going. But I agree with Leanne. I mean, Unai Emery's coaching is amazing, to think of where he's brought them to from when he came in. And if you look at the players, I mean, this is a great run of form at any level of football. But if you look at the players they've got, I can't really think of one that hasn't improved under him. You know, he's tweaked positions with some of them as well, but he's got a set way of playing. And actually, when you watch Villa a lot, they play out from the back through the lines as well as anybody. They're very brave with their football. And it was no surprise to me that they've, you know, he's got them winning again. But they are playing really well. And actually now, really, you could argue are involved in the game of the weekend, I think.
Be interesting to see if Emi Martinez is available, because obviously I think that's why they're a little bit shaky. They conceded the 2 goals in the first 20 minutes. Bizot, I like him a lot. He plays a lot for them in Europe. But, like, they didn't seem like their normal self in the first 20, did they? And then they kind of came into their own in the second half.
Yeah, you said they were involved in the game of the weekend. Are they involved in the title race, though? That's the question.
No. I think on the day they can beat anybody, and I think they'll give Arsenal a really tough game, but I don't think they've got the strength and depth. They are in Europe. They haven't got as big a squad as Emery would like. He's talked about that before, but they're certainly capable of getting in the top 4. I mean, I tipped them, I think, actually, get this right, the beginning before the season to get in the top 4, so that's going all right. Forget the Liverpool tip. We'll get there. Leave that one. But yeah, I think to win the title, you need real strength and depth. And if they were to have, you know, Watkins, if he wasn't playing, I think Onana's a big player for them. When you think of Constance influence, the spine really, and even the goalkeeper, I just don't see the same strength and depth you've got at City, you've got at Arsenal.
Yeah, you both have mentioned Watkins. Let's talk about him. 2 goals in midweek, ending an 11-game goal drought.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there myself. When you're a centre-forward not scoring goals, and, you know, Ollie Watkins...
long you'd probably get dropped, but he doesn't, because he knows how important he is for the other players. Ironically, in the game at the weekend, his first couple of chances, one he scoffed and one he didn't quite get hold of properly, and you could see exactly what you said, that lack of confidence. When he got the goal...
I mean, he's finally, you know, first few games of the season, there were times fans were getting really frustrated with him at Villa Park, but the weight of pass that Morgan Rogers has and the telepathy that him and Ollie Watkins have, I think, can really help.
Do you think it's helped him as well being, I know we might not be first choice for England depending on Jude and all those things, but being away with England and getting the plaudits he did and having those good performances, I think that's probably helped him, don't you?
It has, and he's played through that. I mean, Thomas Tuchel has helped him to prove what Danny said, because he wasn't playing great. Last year, he had one good season in the Premier League, getting Young Player of the Year, PFA Young Player, and he was fantastic. And sometimes it takes a little while. Everyone goes through a bad run of form. He just had a few bad games, and everyone was kind of on his back because the spotlight was on him a little bit more. But I do
young
think,
as well.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing with him, just quickly as well, is that number 10s generally we think of technically, and he is very good technically, but he is powerful. When he gets going, he's strong and he's athletic as well as the technical. And when you've got that mixture of both, that's why he's pushing Jude for the number 10 spot.
Yeah, and obviously that World Cup is a big carrot, like all players looking at it. The draw is happening as we speak, and so big motivator for all players around the Premier League and the world, of course. Well, Unai Emery described the meeting with Arsenal as a huge test for his team.
How we are now after our progress, tomorrow is a really huge test. Huge test collectively, huge test individually. And for me as a coach as well, I am delighted to have this opportunity to play tomorrow against Arsenal, and with the level they have and with the level we achieved as well the last month.
Okay, let's talk about their opposition now, Arsenal, the league leaders, but in a little bit of trouble. We've talked about their squad depth. Even that's been tested this season. Another centre-back down in the game against Brentford. And Julian Timber had to come in and fill in.
Yeah, the only light at the end of the tunnel is I think Saliba's quite close. Might have to speed him up a little bit. But Timber, I mean, he can play anywhere, the guy. He's unbelievable. If you look at the Arsenal game against Brentford, you know, he left Timber and Saka out, which is arguably the best right-side pairing in Europe, or one of. Brings in Ben White and Madueke, and they absolutely destroyed Brentford in the first half. This is as good a squad as Arsenal have had, if not ever, in terms of 22 players, 23 players. So I don't see it being a problem. The only small caveat to that would probably be Declan. Yeah. We're yet to see Arsenal lose him for a prolonged period. The odd game he has a rest. But if they were to lose him for a few weeks, is there anyone who can do what he does with that same physicality? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I could talk about Declan Rice for the next 5 years. I think he's unbelievable. What a player. And I think he epitomises everything a footballer should be. And I do agree. You know, if he's not available, it's an interesting one. The fact they went up against Chelsea, though, with Mosquera and Capio as well, without Gabriel and Saliba, shows you maybe Arsenal have turned the corner this season. Yeah,
but then Mosquera also was out. And then I thought Ben White would go in at that centre-back role, but they brought Timber in there. I wasn't sure how confident you'd be with the Timber against this Aston Villa team in the way.
If you ask any Arsenal fan the way they feel about Timber, I mean, it was unfortunate that he got injured as soon as he got to Arsenal, but he can play in a back three, can play in a back five. Lewis Skelly is not getting a look in this year, which is quite surprising, but Calafiori has been unbelievable. So I do think Arsenal seem to have turned the corner, but again, they're 5 points clear, and I think there's this bit of like still shakiness, isn't there, whether people are reluctant to say they can win the league because the last 2 seasons they've come so close, and at the end of the season fell by the wayside.
So what do you do then if Declan Rice is out for this game because it's a calf problem? Do you move Marino into midfield and then lose that number 9 threat that he poses?
Well, you don't lose the threat because you'd expect Gyökeres to come in and be a threat. But Moreno is a different type of player than Declan. They're both good technicians, but Moreno's not got the athleticism Rice has got. He's not slow, don't get me wrong. But there could be an opportunity for Norgard. People forget he's even at Arsenal because he hasn't been used that much. This is the captain of Brentford. I saw him 4 or 5 times live last season, and he's an outstanding player, by the way. He's not as athletic as Declan, but he's a leader, he can play, he's good on his defensive duty. They've got options. The problem is, Declan at the moment's one of the best midfielders in Europe, so you're not going to get someone who has all his attributes. You just get someone in who does different things. So if you've got Zubimendi, maybe Odegaard and Moreno, that's still a nice three to. And you're thinking when you see him on the team sheet, oof, you know, because Moreno's going to get in the box, he's going to help Gyökeres, Martinelli can hurt you, Eze, whoever it is. It's still an outstanding 11.
Yeah, Mikel Marino was involved in both goals in the victory over Brentford, and Mikel Arteta discussed the possibility of deploying Marino as a permanent striker going forward.
Well, I think he has earned at least the thinking behind it for the way he's performing and the impact that he's bringing to the team. So that's a yes.
You said yes there, but does it make you feel that he could excel even further there? We've seen it with Kai Havertz, who when he joined wasn't a traditional number 9, but has grown into the position.
Yeah, and they're playing together, those two, even with Victor, or it can be with Gavi, and that's things that we have prepared during the summer because of the squad that we have, and so far we haven't been able to do.
Yeah, Mikel Marino, that Arsenal have been looking for. 9 Premier League goals in 2025 for Arsenal, 21 for club and country. Is that instinct? Is that taught? Is that practiced?
I think it's a combination of the two. It's a natural instinct, and fair play to him because he's not a natural number 9, but he doesn't not look. He looks like a natural number 9. He reminds me of Olivier Giroud, who is a natural number 9, and he's positioning. You know, this type of movement he has here to stay central. Like, how many number 9s do we have in the world now that actually stay central? A lot of them drop deep. That's why I think Moreno can play with Gyökeres, because Gyökeres is that type of player that will drop deep. It's an unbelievable ball from Ben White, and the service from Arsenal is incredible as well. But Moreno, what a signing he's been, what a player. And he starts for Spain, even before he got to Arsenal. That just about speaks true to how good he is.
It's funny how some players are more appreciated on the eye to the fan because they're so dynamic in terms of speed or skill. And he's just an intelligent footballer, does everything quite well, brilliant in the air. But if you look at the stats there, I mean, what are you? If you're an attacking midfielder, you're judged on goals and assists. I know he's played as a false 9, but he keeps making an impact in the games. And maybe, I don't know, Arsenal fans might tell me different, but I think he's I'd say undervalued or underrated by them. I think if they were picking their best 11, generally they wouldn't have him in it.
Yeah, that is true, especially given that midfield and the quality there is now.
But if you're picking, right now, if I'm picking between Moreno and Gyökeres in the 9, I'm picking Moreno.
Same.
Yeah.
All day long, which is crazy because Gyökeres came on the other night. He got 9 minutes or so. And he doesn't look, again, it's similar to Ollie Watkins, a player that doesn't look like, takes a little bit of a time to adjust to the Premier League, but he doesn't look like he's confident, you know, and you've got Moreno going in that's not even a number 9, and he's doing amazingly well.
I've wondered about this. Would they, as a player, right, if this was you right now, would you be saying, okay, boss, I'll play anywhere, even though that's not really your area of expertise, that's not really where you play for your national team? Would you just end up doing that? Would you try and switch?
Yeah.
Yeah, you play anywhere the manager wants to put you. You know what position you prefer. I mean, Moreno is very good on the ball. His footwork is incredible. Yeah. And when you watch him live, he gets out of situations. As much as he's not really, really quick, he thinks quick.
Yeah.
And there's a difference.
I'd play anywhere. I mean, it depends how good you are. I mean, if you're Haaland and you get asked to play on the wing, you're saying, hold on.
Yeah.
No, thank you. But it depends. If you're a player who wants to be at a big club winning trophies and you're adaptable and versatile, it's beneficial for you to have that open-mindedness because you'll play more.
Yeah, let's just look at their fixtures coming up now. Of course, we know there is that big trip at lunchtime to Villa Park, and then in the Champions League as well, they turn attention. They've got Wolves, Everton, Palace, Brighton, Aston Villa again, Bournemouth and Liverpool all to come in the next couple of weeks. I mean, I guess, is this the period where the title challenges and the also-rans are kind of separated? Is this a crucial period for them?
Yeah, I think so, just to cement your position. I actually think, looking at those fixtures, a lot of the big games near the end of that run come at home where they're outstanding. This game on Saturday is arguably their toughest one out of that run. If they can get through this one, they'll look at those fixtures. I mean, we've seen what they did to Munich at home. To go to Arsenal and get anything is going to be tough for anyone. I don't care how well you're playing. That game Saturday, if they were to win that, I think they'll look at the rest of that and think we're going to be in a great position.
Yeah, it's a psychological edge as well, because the last 2 seasons they've fallen off at the end and everybody's expecting them to do that. It's games like Brentford that I think if this was last season, they might not have won that game like Brentford, have been able to rest those players and still get the result.
Yeah, true.
So the fact they're able to do it, I agree with Danny. You know, the Villa games are massive, especially away. Like that will start, then we'll see what Arsenal are about, the psychological side and the mentality.
Do you need as big a lead as possible, or is that the same for any side that wants to win the Premier League?
No, I think now we've been waiting now for them, right? Because over the years, twice they got the second position at the end. So now this season is actually the season that everybody's waiting. They got to win it. Everybody's putting the pressure on. They wanted a striker, they got their striker. Then they wanted certain ingredients in the team, and clearly one of the defensive is, like for us, you know, is one of the best now in the league, what they have, but they're injured. And that is what the question now for Arsenal, for me, becomes now, like, can they sit this out? And it's always this time, December and January is when we talk about what's happening to Arsenal. If they can answer us really well in that, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I will say, yeah, they have a chance.
Okay, well, this month sees Mikel Arteta celebrate 6 years in charge at Arsenal. So I sat down with the Arsenal boss to reflect on what he's achieved so far. Mikel, lovely to see you.
I don't know. I think when you look at Unai, his career and his motivation level everywhere that he's been and the impact that he's done, it's always been remarkable. So I don't know. That's a question for him. But in my opinion, he never needs anything extra. I think he's got enough on himself. Club, any team in that position has chances for sure.
Christian Mosquera and Declan Rice were taken off during Arsenal's win over Brentford. Arteta said that they will be assessed ahead of the trip to Villa Park. He also confirmed it would be a matter of days until William Saliba and Leandro Trossard both return. The Arsenal boss spoke of the impact of the busy fixture schedule.
The only thing I said is whenever it's possible to help and give the players an extra day or hours to fulfill the maximum potential, let's do it. That's it. We are ready from today for tomorrow's game, that's for sure.
Now, the January transfer window opens in a month's time, or less than a month's time. Could some of those injuries that Arsenal have suffered mean that they are more active in the market?
We always have to be prepared. I mean, the moment that we have an option to touch the squad, to improve the squad, or to protect the squad, depending on what happens, I think we need to be open for it. And from what is going to happen from here till the window is closed as well is football. So we don't know, but we're certainly going to be alert, and we know where the risk can come in terms of the squad. be ready just in case we have to do something.
In the same way, can you afford to let anyone go?
At the moment, obviously, we haven't had a situation, as we mentioned before, that players are out of the squad for 3 or 4 weeks in a row. So at the moment, we know that the squad we have we are fulfilling it with the players that are fit. So at the moment, it's very clear that there is no option to do that.
Mikel Merino has been used as a makeshift striker with Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz and Victor Gyökeres out injured. He scored 11 goals for club and country this season. Arteta believes that he's proved that he can play as a number 9 even when the other strikers are fit and available.
Well, I think he has earned at least the thinking behind it for the way he's performing and the impact that he's bringing to the team. So that's a yes.
Battle back.
So 6 years in charge of Mikel Arteta. I thought it was so fascinating there. I was so surprised when I asked him about that first day as manager, going in there, do you want it to feel nice? And he goes, no, I wanted it to feel as awkward as possible. I mean, what was it like for you guys? I mean, you must have, had so many times where a manager comes in first day. What were some of your memories?
Yeah, probably got a few too many managers sacked or revolving door.
He gets them out. That's what he's saying. He's got them out.
But then a new manager comes in. I've probably experienced different kind of managers. There was Harry Redknapp, who we had 2 points from 8 games under Juan de Ramos, and Ramos gets sacked and he comes in and he tries to get a little bit of belief, confidence back. Yeah. And that's what Harry did. We were in a false position, but as players we were well underachieving. We were performing to the levels that we could. I mean, we had Bale, Modric, we had some incredible players. We'd lost a few players in the summer, and then you look on the flip side where end of the season a manager goes and Andre Villas-Boas came in and he said he wanted to make a stance there, Mikel Arteta, and make it as horrible as he can. Andre Villas-Boas came in and he set the tone. He put his markers down and went, right, it's going to be done my way or the highway. Try to get a few players out. And it was challenging, completely different. But there's different ways about going and getting your best players, getting the best out of the players, for sure.
What about you?
Yeah, I was at that time, Vialli left Chelsea, and then Ranieri came in. And Ranieri comes in and had a conversation with the group and everything. So I think, we go train. We trained that week. Yeah. And the weekend comes, you're not part of the team. So you're like, okay, you're not part of it. You know how that feels, right? When you're not part of it, you think like, oh, okay. So then during the week it comes on, they said the reserves are playing, and I'm playing with the reserves. And that is like, wow. You're like, wow, okay, this is interesting. So, but then when you start the game, you say to yourself, I'm going to prove you wrong. Yeah. Fortunately, thank God, I score a goal, and next time I'm back in the first team.
That's the way to do it, Mario. Nice.
But I was just fortunate because in the beginning, when he did that, when he put you on the bench, and first you're not even part of the bench, then you're not even part of the team, and then, you think, then you go in the reserves, and you come in, and all the guys in the reserves are looking at you, and it's a first team player.
Yeah.
But there's different ways to look at it like that. Yeah. Mario went and proved him wrong. Some people can down tools, consult, can feel sorry for yourselves. New managers come in thinking, what do you mean I'm a big player? Yeah. And all of a sudden, you're in the reserves.
You bet that's it, but you gotta work harder, and it brings that best side out of you, I guess. Just quickly on Arsenal. I mean, looking at them now and some of the games that they've already had, there was a lot of talk about their fixtures when they first started. But now you look at it, the places they've played already. They've already done Old Trafford, they've done Anfield, they've done St James's Park, they've done Stamford Bridge. They're about to do Villa Park as well. And they're in pretty good stead. I mean, how much of a difference, Dors, does that make to a side knowing you've got those games out of the way?
Well, we'll see after Christmas, won't we? When the games come. I mean, they've got Villa in a short space of time coming up. Big one tomorrow against Aston Villa, the informed team. But they're going away from home, and you have to get over these challenges. You've got to perform. Whether Saliba will be back is a big one for me. I think missing Saliba and Gabriel, and we can all talk about Declan Rice, we can all talk about the players in the attacking from a defensive point of side. Yeah. It can be huge, but that looks good. I mean, going away to Anfield and the free kick from Szoboszlai was incredible. There wasn't a lot in the game. Yeah. So I think Mikel will take an awful lot of positives out of that, having been away to some tough places. Yeah,
you say obviously the influence of Gabriel not being there as well is so huge, but there was also so many people talking about, Arsenal corner FC, that was it. And then you see it now, and you actually see the difference in open play goals. We've got this here. So as you can see, the matches that they played with Gabriel, They scored 7 goals. Without Gabriel, they scored nothing. But actually, from open play, it's the opposite. So we've got, in the last 3 games, they've scored 7 goals from open play, whereas with 11 with Gabriel, they played 8. So is that showing, Mario? Do you think that the manager's conscious of it and going, right, we're going to have to switch how we get our goals?
Yeah, of course. But I don't think, because the way Arteta is and was as a player, that's the same how he's managing his team. So he wanted to be creative and try to find nuance in the game. That's why they came up with this stats. But away from that, I'm sure that he wants to score the goals in the possible way how he can do that. And if you look at the we're talking about the defenders, I looked at the number, I saw it today, and it was 164 times those guys played together, Gabriel and Saliba. This is like one of the first times, last season Southampton they missed, it was the last game of the season, but they always together. So when you miss that, it's a big miss for him. So that's why now we're highlighting the stats of the goal scoring. Yes, of course, and I saw it, okay, you know how they play and everything, but it's very, very important for